The rain drummed against my windshield like 1,000 angry fingers. I sat in my car in the parking garage, still clutching my cardboard box, staring at the glowing windows of Morgan & Associates creative agency. Through the glass walls of the 5th floor, I could see them. My boss, Jennifer, was pouring wine for her younger sister, Mia. They were laughing, celebrating. 20 minutes ago, I had a career. I had a corner desk, 3 major accounts, and a design that was about to land a $2 million contract with Bennett Pharmaceuticals. Now I had a box with a dying succulent, a coffee mug that said Creative Chaos, and a company-issued laptop that IT would be demanding back by tomorrow morning. My phone was at 18%, and my hands were shaking so badly I could barely unlock the screen. I wasn't crying. I wasn't calling my mom. I was calling the one person who might actually believe me. Before I tell you what the security system captured that proved my innocence and destroyed Mia's entire scheme, drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from and what industry you work in. I want to see how far this story reaches. The cold from the parking garage wasn't the kind that came from temperature. It was the cold of institutional fluorescent lighting, concrete walls, and the realization that the place you spent 60 hours a week had just spit you out like spoiled food. My breath fogged up the window. I pressed my forehead against the steering wheel and forced myself to replay the last 3 hours. 8 a.m. The morning had started with promise. I was in the conference room early, my presentation loaded and ready. Bennett Pharmaceuticals was sending their Chief Marketing Officer and VP of Brand Strategy. This was the pitch that would make or break Q4 for the agency. I'd spent 6 weeks on the campaign. 60-hour weeks. Nights, weekends, skipped dinners, ignored texts from friends. The tagline alone had gone through 47 iterations. The design system was clean, modern, and bold. Exactly what Bennett needed to relaunch their flagship product line after the recall scandal last year. Jennifer walked in at 8:45 a.m., her sister Mia trailing behind her like always. Mia was 24, fresh out of a mediocre design school, hired 8 months ago as a junior designer. She reported to me. On paper. In reality, she did whatever she wanted, and Jennifer made sure no one could say anything about it. Morning, everyone, Jennifer said brightly, setting down her Starbucks. Then her expression changed. Her phone buzzed. She looked at it. Her face went from morning pleasant to stone cold in half a second. She looked up at me. Not at Mia. Not at the other 2 designers in the room. At me. Everyone out, she said quietly. Except you, Harper. You stay. My stomach dropped. The other designers grabbed their laptops and shuffled out fast, avoiding eye contact. Mia stayed. Of course, she stayed. Jennifer walked to the door, closed it, and locked it. I stood up slowly. Jennifer, what's going on? She turned, and I saw something in her eyes I'd never seen before. Not disappointment, not confusion. Pure, cold rage. Bennett just called, she said. Her voice was shaking. They received our entire campaign. Last night, at 11 p.m. From an anonymous email. Every file. Every asset. Every deck. My heart stopped. What? They said they appreciated the submission but were uncomfortable moving forward with an agency that had such obvious internal security issues. They're going with Palmer Creative instead. Palmer Creative. Our biggest competitor. The room tilted. Jennifer, I didn't your computer, she cut me off. IT traced the email. It came from your workstation. Your login credentials. Your sent folder. I shook my head, words tumbling out. That's impossible. I left at 7 last night. I went home. You can check the security logs. I badged out at you had remote access, Mia said. She was sitting in the corner, arms crossed, looking at me with something that might have been pity if I didn't know better. You could have sent it from anywhere. Jennifer took 2 steps toward me. I'd never seen her move like that. Do you understand what you've done? Do you have any concept of the damage? I didn't do this. My voice came out too high, too desperate. Jennifer, I swear to God, I did not send that email. Why would I? This was my campaign. I've been working on this for 6 weeks. Maybe you got a better offer, Mia said softly. Palmer's been trying to poach senior designers for months. Everyone knows that. I spun to face her. Are you serious right now? Jennifer stepped between us. I don't care about the why. I care about the breach. Harper, you're done. Effective immediately. The words didn't land at first. They hung in the air like smoke. You're firing me. I'm terminating your employment for cause. Breach of NDA, theft of intellectual property, and corporate sabotage. You'll be lucky if Bennett doesn't sue you personally. Jennifer. My voice cracked. Please. Just let me explain. Security is on their way up. You have 10 minutes to pack your desk. If you're still in this building in 15 minutes, I'm calling the police. She unlocked the door and held it open. Mia was still sitting there, watching me. There were tears in her eyes. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed tears. That's when I knew. I didn't know how. I didn't know the details. But I knew. Mia had done this. And Jennifer, in her blind, suffocating loyalty to her baby sister, wasn't even going to ask questions. I walked to my desk in a fugue state. People stared. Word had already spread. I could hear the whispers. She leaked the Bennett campaign. Sold it to Palmer. I always thought she seemed shady. I packed my things in silence. The succulent. The mug. A framed photo of my dog. 3 years of work. Condensed into a box that weighed maybe 4 pounds. Security escorted me out. Not the nice daytime guard who always asked about my weekend. The night shift guy, the one with the dead eyes and the taser on his belt. He walked me through the lobby, past the reception desk, past the glass wall with the agency's awards, past the creative director's office where I was supposed to interview next month for a promotion, out into the parking garage. Into my car. Into the rain. That's where I sat now, 20 minutes later, trying to remember how to breathe. I scrolled through my contacts. Mom would panic. My roommate would try to help but wouldn't understand. My college friends were scattered across 3 time zones and wouldn't pick up. Then I saw her name, Dr. Vivian Torres, my graphic design professor from grad school, the woman who'd written my recommendation letter for this job, the one person in my professional life who knew me well enough to know I would never do this. My hands were shaking so hard it took 3 tries to hit the call button. She picked up on the second ring. Harper? Her voice was warm, familiar. I almost broke. Dr. Torres. I had to stop. Breathe. Start again. I need help. I told her everything. The accusation. The email. The firing. The escort out. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, there was a long pause. Then she said, "Do you still have your badge?" I looked down. The security guard hadn't taken it. "Yes. Stay in your car. Don't leave the garage. I'm making a call." She hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, not understanding. 10 minutes passed. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Harper Chen? The voice was male, older, calm. Yes? This is Richard Morgan. I'm the founder of Morgan and Associates. Dr. Torres just called me. She said there's been a situation, and I need to hear your side before this goes any further. Are you still on the property? Richard Morgan. The founder. The man whose name was on the building. He'd retired from day-to-day operations 5 years ago, but he still owned 60% of the company. I'd met him exactly once, at the holiday party my first year. I'm in the parking garage, I said. Level 3. Jennifer told me to leave, but don't move, I'm 15 minutes away. He arrived in 12. I watched a silver Tesla pull into the garage and park 2 spaces away. Richard Morgan stepped out. He was in his mid-60s, gray hair, sharp suit, and an expression that reminded me of my grandfather when he was about to solve a problem. He walked over and tapped on my window. I rolled it down. Miss Chen, he said. Let's go back inside. I was told I own the building. Come with me. I grabbed my box and followed him to the elevator. He used a key card to access the executive floor. We didn't go to the main office. We went to a small conference room I'd never seen before. He gestured to a chair. Sit. Tell me exactly what happened. Don't leave anything out. I told him. He took notes on a legal pad. When I mentioned the email being traced to my workstation, he stopped writing. What time did IT say the email was sent? 11 p.m. And you left the building at what time? 7. I badged out. I went home, ordered Thai food, and fell asleep watching Netflix. I have the delivery receipt on my phone if you. He held up a hand. I believe you. But let's verify. He pulled out his phone and made a call. Mark? Richard. Morgan. I need you to pull security logs for last night. Badge activity for Harper Chen. Yes, now. I'll wait. He put the phone on speaker. We sat in silence. The rain kept drumming. Then a voice came through. Mr. Morgan? Harper Chen badged out at 7:04 p.m. No re-entry logged after that. And the email in question was sent from her workstation at 11 p.m.? Richard asked. According to IT, yes, sir. From her login credentials, her computer, her sent folder. Was there any badge activity on the 5th floor between 7 p.m. and midnight? A pause. Typing. Yes, sir. Jennifer Morgan badged in at 7:45 p.m. Mia Walsh badged in at 8:10 p.m. Both badged out at 11:47 p.m. Richard's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Thank you, Mark. One more thing. Pull the surveillance footage from the 5th floor. I need to see workstation 5 to 14 between 8 p.m. and midnight last night. Sir, that's Miss Chen's desk. I'm aware. Send the footage to my personal email. I want it in 10 minutes. He hung up. Looked at me. Harper, I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Have you ever had any issues with Mia Walsh? I hesitated. He caught it. Tell me. So I did. I told him about the 8 months of passive-aggressive comments. The missed deadlines I had to cover for. The time she'd taken credit for my ideas in meetings. The way Jennifer always took her side. 2 months ago, I said, I submitted a design for the AIGA Awards. Regional level. It was a campaign I'd done for our pro bono client, the literacy nonprofit. I worked on it for free, on weekends. The submission required a letter of recommendation from a senior leader. I asked Jennifer. She said she'd write it. And? I didn't win. I didn't even get shortlisted. Last week, I ran into the AIGA coordinator at a networking event. She said they never received my submission. It was marked as incomplete. No recommendation letter. Richard wrote that down. His jaw was tight. His phone buzzed. Footage is here. Let's watch. He opened his laptop, pulled up the email and clicked the video file. The footage was black and white, grainy but clear enough. Timestamp. 8:34 p.m. My desk. Empty. Then Mia walked into frame. She looked around. Sat down at my computer. The camera angle didn't show the screen, but we could see her hands typing. 9 minutes passed. She stood up. Walked away. Timestamp. 11:03 p.m. Mia returned. Sat down again. Typed for 6 minutes. Pulled out a USB drive, plugged it in. Waited. Unplugged it. Deleted something on screen. Stood up. Left. Richard paused the video. She used your workstation twice. The first time was likely to log in using your saved credentials. The second time was to send the email and delete the evidence from your local machine. I couldn't speak. Richard made another call. Mark, I need you to retrieve the hard drive from workstation 5 to 14 immediately. Do not inform Jennifer or anyone else. Bring it to executive conference room A. Also, I need you to pull IT logs for Mia Walsh's access requests over the past 8 months. Specifically, any time she accessed systems above her clearance level. He hung up. Looked at me. Harper, do you have a lawyer? No. You're going to need one. Not because you're in trouble. Because you're going to want representation when we file charges against Mia Walsh for corporate espionage, theft, and fraud. The room spun. I don't understand. Why would she do this? The Bennett campaign was worth millions to the agency. She just killed her own sister's biggest deal. Richard's smile was grim. Let's find out. 20 minutes later, we had the hard drive. Richard had called in a forensic IT specialist, a woman named Casey who worked for corporate law firms. She cracked open my computer and started running recovery software. Looking for deleted files, sent items, anything that doesn't match the official IT logs, Casey explained. If she used your machine, there'll be traces. People always think, delete means gone. It doesn't. She worked in silence for 8 minutes. Then she stopped. Oh wow. What? Richard leaned in. Casey turned the laptop so we could see. Mia Walsh didn't just send the Bennett files. She's been using Harper's credentials for months. Look at this. She pulled up a folder. July 18th. Email to Palmer Creative from Harper's account. Subject line. Interested in opportunities. Attached, Harper's portfolio. Accept. She clicked on the attachment. This isn't Harper's portfolio. It's Mia's work. She's been applying to jobs, pretending to be Harper, trying to get poached. I felt sick. Why would she want Palmer to think I was applying? She didn't, Casey said. Look at the responses. Palmer reached out 3 times. The last email, sent September 4th, offered Harper a senior designer role with a $95K salary. $20,000 more than you make now. Richard's eyes narrowed. Did Harper respond? Casey scrolled. Yes. She declined. Said she was happy at Morgan and Associates. But look at this. She opened another email. October 2nd. Mia Walsh, from her personal Gmail, emails Palmer Creative. Says she's Jennifer Morgan's sister, heard they were expanding, and asks if they're still looking for senior designers. She attaches the same portfolio. Palmer responds, we already spoke with your colleague Harper Chen, but she declined. However, we'd love to interview you. The pieces clicked together. She was trying to get hired at Palmer using my work, I whispered. But they thought she was me, so she had to prove she wasn't me. She had to destroy my reputation so Palmer would. What? Hire her instead? Close, Richard said. But not quite. Casey, keep digging. Casey's fingers flew. Wait. Here. October 15th. Email from an encrypted account to Palmer Creative, anonymous tip. Says Harper Chen at Morgan & Associates is willing to sell campaign assets for the right price. Includes a screenshot of the Bennett presentation. Partial files. Just enough to prove access. She was setting me up, I said. My voice sounded far away. She wanted Palmer to think I was corrupt. So when she applied, she'd look clean by comparison. And, Casey added, pulling up another file, when the Bennett campaign leaked, Palmer would assume Harper was the source. They'd never hire her. Mia gets the job. Harper's career is destroyed. Jennifer never finds out her sister sabotaged the agency because she thinks Harper did it. Richard stood up. His face was carved from stone. Is there more? Casey kept typing. Then she stopped. Oh no. What? October 20th. Deleted email from Richard Morgan's executive assistant to Harper Chen. Subject: promotion discussion. It's flagged as read, but there's no reply logged. She looked at Richard. Sir, did you try to set up a meeting with Harper about a promotion? Richard's jaw tightened. Yes. I wanted to discuss making her creative director. I asked my assistant to reach out 3 weeks ago. She told me Harper never responded. I assumed Harper wasn't interested. She never got the email, Casey said. It was deleted from the server. Remotely accessed and purged using. She checked the logs. Mia Walsh's credentials. She has admin-level access. I looked at Richard. How does a junior designer have admin access? She doesn't, Richard said. Jennifer does. She must have shared her login with Mia. He walked to the window. Stared out at the rain. When he turned back, his expression was colder than I'd ever seen on another human being. Get Jennifer and Mia in here. Now, Casey made the call. 5 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Jennifer walked in, Mia right behind her. Jennifer looked annoyed. Richard, what's this about? I'm in the middle of damage control. She stopped. Saw me. What is she doing here? I fired her. I told security, sit down, Jennifer. Richard's voice could have frozen the sun. Jennifer sat. Mia stood behind her, fidgeting with her bracelet. Richard didn't sit. He stood at the head of the table like a judge. Harper Chen did not leak the Bennett campaign. Richard, the evidence. The evidence shows that Mia Walsh used Harper's workstation at 11:03 p.m. last night to send those files to Palmer Creative. We have security footage. We have forensic IT logs. We have the deleted files she thought she'd erased. The room went silent. Mia's face drained of color. Jennifer stared at her sister. That's not possible. Mia was with me last night. We had dinner, and then we left together. You badged out of the building at 7:45 p.m., Richard said. You both came back at 8:10 p.m. You left again at 11:47 p.m. The email was sent at 11:03 p.m. from Harper's desk. We have video. He turned the laptop around, pressed play. Jennifer watched. I watched her face. The confidence cracked, then crumbled. She looked at Mia. Tell me he's wrong. Mia's mouth opened, closed. Tears started streaming down her face. But they weren't the careful, controlled tears from this morning. These were ugly, panicked tears. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she choked out. Mia. Jennifer's voice broke. What did you do? Palmer offered me a job. Mia's voice pitched high, desperate. They saw my portfolio and they wanted me, but then they found out Harper worked here. And they thought we were the same person because I used her login to submit my work because mine wasn't good enough. And then they offered her the position instead. And I needed them to see that Harper wasn't perfect. That she was a risk. So I sent them the tip about her selling campaign assets, and then I needed to prove it, So you actually leaked our biggest campaign of the year to our competitor, Richard finished. Destroyed a $2 million contract. Sabotaged your own sister's agency. And framed an innocent employee. For a job. It wasn't just a job. Mia shouted. It was my way out. Do you know what it's like working here? Being Jennifer's little sister. Everyone thinks I only got hired because of nepotism. No one takes me seriously. No one respects me. I needed to prove I could make it somewhere else. Somewhere where I wasn't just Jennifer's sister. But Palmer wouldn't hire me if they thought Harper was the better designer. So you had to destroy her, I said. My voice was quiet. Mia looked at me. I'm sorry, Harper. I really am. I didn't think. You deleted my promotion email. She froze. You knew Richard was going to make me creative director. You saw the email. And you deleted it. That wasn't about Palmer. That wasn't about getting a job somewhere else. You just wanted to make sure I didn't succeed here. Mia's face twisted. For just a second, the mask dropped completely. You don't deserve it. You've been here 3 years. I've been here 8 months and Jennifer keeps telling me to learn from you. To watch how Harper does it, like you're some kind of perfect golden child who can do no wrong. You got the corner desk. You got the Bennett campaign. You got Richard's attention. What was I supposed to do? Just keep being your assistant forever? Jennifer stood up slowly. She looked at Mia like she was seeing her for the first time. You cost me my reputation. You cost this agency its biggest client. You destroyed an employee's career. For what? Jealousy? You don't understand, Mia whispered. I needed you to be proud of me. I was proud of you, Jennifer said. Her voice cracked. I gave you every opportunity. I protected you. I defended you when other people said you weren't ready. And this is how you repay me. Richard stepped in. Jennifer, I need you to step out. I have to speak with Mia privately. She's my sister, and she committed corporate espionage using your administrative credentials, which makes you liable. Either you step out, or I call our lawyers right now and have them determine whether you were complicit. Jennifer's face went white. She looked at Mia one more time. Then she walked out. The door closed. Richard sat down across from Mia. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to write a full confession. Every detail. The fake portfolio submissions, the anonymous tips to Palmer, the deletion of Harper's emails, and the leak of the Bennett campaign. You're going to sign it in front of a notary. Then you're going to resign, effective immediately, and you're going to agree never to work in the creative industry again. You can't do that, Mia whispered. I can, because if you don't, I'm filing criminal charges for theft of intellectual property, corporate espionage, and fraud. You'll be facing federal charges. Prison time. A record that will follow you for the rest of your life. Or you can take this deal, walk away quietly, and rebuild somewhere else. Somewhere that isn't my industry. Mia's hands were shaking. What about Jennifer? Your sister is going to have to decide whether she values family over her career. But that's not your problem anymore. What's your answer? Mia looked at me. I didn't look away. After a long moment, she nodded. Richard called in Casey and a notary. Mia wrote the confession. Signed it. It took 45 minutes. When it was done, Richard handed her a box. Pack your desk. You have 1 hour. If you're in this building after that, I'm calling the police. Mia left. I sat there, numb. Richard looked at me. Harper, I owe you an apology. This should never have happened. Jennifer will be suspended pending a full review of her management practices. In the meantime, I'm reinstating you effective immediately, and I'd like to offer you the creative director position we discussed. $110,000 salary, full benefits, and a formal letter of recommendation for the AIGA awards. You should have one. I couldn't speak. He stood up. Take the weekend. Process this. Come back Monday and we'll make it official. You've earned it. He walked to the door. Paused. Harper? Dr. Torres told me you were one of the most talented designers she'd ever taught. She was right. Don't let anyone make you forget that. Then he left. I sat in the conference room alone. The rain had stopped. Through the window, I could see the city lights coming on. My phone buzzed. Dr. Torres. How are you holding up? I started crying. Not sad tears. Not angry tears. Relief. I'm okay, I said. I'm going to be okay. 3 months later, I was standing in the same conference room. It looked different now. Brighter. We'd won the Bennett campaign back. Turned out, Palmer's pitch was a disaster. Bennett called us, apologized, and asked if we could start over. I said yes. This time I led the pitch myself. We landed it. $2 million. 3-year contract. Richard promoted me to creative director the next week. Jennifer resigned quietly. No press release. No public statement. Just a one-line announcement that she was pursuing other opportunities. I heard she moved to Portland. Started a small boutique agency. We don't talk. Mia's confession stayed sealed, part of the settlement. But word got around. That's how the industry works. She's blacklisted now. Not officially. But no serious agency will touch her. Last I heard, she was doing freelance logo design on Fiverr. I should feel bad about that. I don't. I hired 3 new designers last month. All women, all talented, all hungry. I make sure they get credit for their work. I make sure their emails don't get deleted. I make sure they know that success isn't a zero-sum game. There's room for everyone. You just have to earn it honestly. My office has a window now. Corner view. I keep the succulent on my desk. It's thriving. Sometimes I think about that night in the parking garage. The rain. The cold. The certainty that my career was over. I think about how close I came to just driving away. Giving up. Letting them win, but I didn't. And that made all the difference. Because here's what I learned. When someone tries to destroy you, they're not just threatened by your success. They're threatened by your potential. They see something in you that they can't find in themselves. And instead of building themselves up, they try to tear you down. But here's the thing about people like that. They always make mistakes. They always get caught. Because destruction is loud. And the truth, eventually, is louder. So if you're out there, sitting in your car, holding a cardboard box, wondering if it's worth fighting back, it is. Call the person who believes in you. Tell the truth. Let the evidence speak. And when the dust settles, When the people who tried to bury you are gone, plant yourself deeper, grow taller, bloom brighter. That's how you win. Not by revenge. By becoming everything they were afraid you'd be.